am going to be talking about this person here. Just for those of you who might not be able to see the screen that clearly, it is a man, an older man, wearing a wig and a girls' school uniform. And he has made a habit of standing outside school gates in Essex. And my attention was drawn by this tweet here. A man has been appearing outside a school in Essex and on a bus with children wearing schoolgirls' clothing this week. Now, this on a bus with children, I think this is the bus here, and it's not a school bus. That means that it was, that the bus driver let this person on the bus. And you wonder why the bus driver let the person on? Well, probably because the bus driver was afraid that he or she would lose his job for denying this man access. A few people have brought the subject up, and the police have told concerned parents to stop sharing images of him on social media as he does not pose a risk. So, just because I'm that sort of person, here's another picture of him, well, the same picture actually, and here he is outside Milton Hall Primary School, that is a school where children under the age of 10 attend, and if Essex Police have anything to say about it, be my guest. All the links are in the description around this video. If you want to send me some messages, please do. I'd be very interested in what you have to say, but be aware that anything you do say will not be in confidence. Anything you do say will form another video, just so you know. But I don't mind you talking to me. I don't mind you rationalising your behaviour. And at this point, I'm going to interrupt myself to remind you who I am. I am Granniopteryx. I'm on YouTube, Rumble, BitChute and Minds. I am also on Twitter, Gab and Parler, where I am at Granniopteryx. And if you subscribe to one of those platforms, you will get notifications of every time I upload a video, and particularly Essex Police. That's my address. You can contact me through my Twitter account. Okay, what else? Yes, please, I'm not monetizing this video, of course, so you can help my channel by liking, by sharing and by subscribing. If you're on YouTube, just check that your subscription is still valid. Please click that like button. That's probably the best thing you can do. You can also contribute financially. Buy me a coffee, and one of the other links in the description. All the links are in the description. Okay, back to Essex. Right, and this is in the Basildon, Canvey and Southend Echo. Man wearing Belfair's Academy uniform, not a risk, police say. With all due respect to the police, or indeed without any respect at all, he does pose a risk. He poses a risk because he is pushing into children's brain the grotesque and frightening image of a man in their school uniform. This is going to follow them for the rest of their lives. And the parents have to push past this person every day that he is there. An elderly man spotted wearing a girls' school uniform near a Lee secondary school and on a bus does not pose a risk. Social media has been flooded with reports of the man wearing Belfair's Academy uniform in the vicinity of the Highlands Boulevard School this week, as well as on a bus in the area where children travelled home. You imagine children being frightened to get on the bus, because when they get on the bus, they have an idea that this weird character is probably going to be there. Even if he's not there, it's going to give the kids this awful feeling getting on the bus. This is going to have a permanent effect on these children. And he's wearing a Milton Hall Primary School uniform as well. Essex Police has identified the individual, and officers from its community policing team have discussed the incident with the man in question. The force says it understands the community's concerns. No, it doesn't. It doesn't understand the community's concerns, because they are right to be concerned, and this man is not a risk to the public, they say. Well, he is. As I said, for the permanent effect he's going to have on the children. Police have also urged residents to stop sharing photographs of the individual. Now, let's go back to this. Doesn't pose a risk to the public. You see, what's going to happen is that one of the parents is going to actually push this guy out of the way as he's taking his child into the school. And then that parent is going to end up in court for assault. So it looks like the police are actually trying to get a law-abiding member of the public a criminal record. Like they're actually forcing ordinary citizens to take the law into their own hands. It's like they're trying to do this. And you ask why? Because quite honestly, the police, if they want to find a crime, will find any number of crimes if they're really intent on getting at somebody. Women who stand up in public and say that a woman is an adult human female, they get arrested, they get harassed by the police, they get the police ringing them up and calling them in for a quiet chat, don't they? What's going on here? It's like they are trying to turn law-abiding people into criminals. Everything in their behaviour seems to be heading in that direction. And while we're talking about that, I'll just bring in another article which some of you will know about, and it's this guy here. This is in the Daily Mail, again, reader view because of all the adverts in the other view. Trans teacher with huge prosthetic breasts should be able to express herself, says Canadian school. So this is across the Atlantic. Another school who is not caring for its children, who is caring for somebody with a mental disturbance far more than children that this person with a mental disturbance is trying to mentally disturb. A Canadian high school has said it would be illegal to criticise and stop a trans teacher from wearing huge prosthetic breasts in class. Now, in my opinion, this is not a trans woman. This is not a woman, and it's not trans. It's a man. It's a man making fun of women, a man who hates women, who wants to make them ridiculous, and is putting that message into the minds of his students. If they're girls and they are at, a secondary school, they will be developing a female figure and might be feeling sensitive about the whole subject, might be feeling a bit embarrassed about the way their body's changing. And they've got this to look at, which makes fun of everything they're developing into. And the boys, of course, are going to get an opinion of women from this. Now, there is something else that we might mention. This is the guy in the shop, in the workshop. He's operating a lathe. He's got his hair loose and he's got these appendages in the way. And that's just bad behaviour anyway. They could sack him for that alone. But no, they say it's just not legal to do anything about it. Despite the heavy backlash and reports that some students are skipping class, the Halton District School Board defended the teacher and said it would no longer answer questions about the issue because it was a personal matter. No, there is a point at which the personal becomes the public. If he wanted to do that in his bedroom, in his home, and somebody started showing photos round of how he dresses in his spare time, that would be a personal matter, and definitely nobody's concern but his own. But he is out there in the school. And sooner or later, somebody is going to do something which will get them arrested for removing him. Again, the school and the police are colluding to harm children and to force parents, some sooner or later, to break the law. Let's see if I can get this down now. Right. And here we're back to Essex. Officers from the community policing team have carried out inquiries and identified the person concerned. They've discussed the incident with the person and it is being treated as a mental health related incident. Yeah, for sure. There is something very, very wrong with that man. But meanwhile, if he had bubonic plague, you wouldn't let him stand outside the school because he'd be infecting the children. He's infecting the children with his madness here, and you're not doing anything about it. The man has been referred for specialist support. Yeah, well, he has an illness. He should be in hospital. He shouldn't be outside a school gate. Although this may have caused community concerns, we would like to reassure the public. Oh yeah, so Essex Police, I'm sure that the parents are all now reassured when they go to school in the morning and their kid says, I don't want to see that nasty man. I'm sure they feel very reassured. Reassure the public that no offences have been committed, and here we have a problem. No offences may have been committed. There may have been no offences committed. But as I said, the police can always find an offence when they want to. But even if they can't find an offence, there is something wrong and this man needs removing from the public view, especially from the public view around schools. I saw I was walking through the town centre and when I was living in London, and there was a man who was walking along up and down the high street with with his trousers open. And at the time, this was pre-mobile phones, or pre a common idea with mobile phones. So I dashed into a local shop and I asked them if I could use the phone, and I rang the police and I said, there's a man exposing himself on the high street. And this policewoman said, can you describe him? I said, he's got his willy out. How much more do you want? Anyway, yeah, no offences have been committed and this individual does not pose a risk. Well, as I said, yes, he does. We would like to remind the public that back to that man in the school, in the high street, I'm quite sure that now the police would just tell me, oh, well, he's expressing himself. We would like to remind the public that continued circulation of images on social media could have a detrimental personal impact on those concerned. Yeah, well, I'm sure he is having a detrimental personal impact on everybody around him, which is obviously what he's going for. And we would ask that the public refrain from circulating images. Where is that again? Let's get back to it. Yeah, there we are. Yeah, I am refraining from circulating this image. I'm just putting it up on my video. Right. Well, why are the police doing that? Why are the schools doing this? I don't know. It's completely beyond me. But suggestions are welcome. Right. Till next time. Why not treat yourself or a favoured relative or friend to these magnificent examples of merch? The mugs and t-shirts come in the granniopteryx design or Granbo. with a firearm or the more deadly knitting needles. Go to www.granniopteryx.com and whatever platform you're watching this on, please click like, subscribe and share.